Recently, the Foothill-De Anza Police Department has undergone some changes with the retirement of former Chief Ron Levine, appointing former Assistant Chief Daniel Acosta as Mr. Levine's successor. Chief Acosta was generous enough to grant me a ride-along with Officer Temo Rosas on a Friday morning to see what a day in the life of a Foothill-De Anza police officer is like. I asked Officer Rosas what the typical midnight to morning crime report looks like.
Last class ends, I believe, at around 11. So, and then the PSAs will go around, lock up all the doors and everything, make sure everything's secured, and that only the janitors are working.
Officer Rosas then elaborated on how many officers are available at any given time to respond to calls to Foothill-De Anza Police.
We have our Bravo unit, which is our Sunnyvale unit, so he's like a floater in between both. Just because there's not a lot of activity at Sunnyvale, you only have paramedics there. But he's usually the one I'll go back and forth, and if it's something major, both units will respond this way. So on any given day, we have 3 officers working at all times.
Officer Rosas then provided details on the extra security provided at main events that take place on campus.
Yeah, so let's take a football game, for instance. They typically hire 2 of the officers, so there'll be 3 beat officers already, and then they'll hire on 2 more, so it would be an overtime position where we come in, and that goes for all major events. If there's a soccer game or if there's a Flint event, any event on campus that they want extra security, they'll go ahead and hire extra officers to work that event.
I got the opportunity to interview a community service officer, Aaron, and he offered a glimpse of his experiences at De Anza.
And our responsibility here at Foothill-De Anza Police Department is to conduct investigations on minor crimes such as vandalism. We do parking enforcement. We hire PSAs such as these over here. We interview them, do the training, all that, and teach them how to do their job. And mainly it's a bunch of courtesy services. So trying to help people a lot, do foot patrol, just maintain safety on campus.
I then asked Officer Rosas to elaborate on the dispatch process when someone calls 911 and reports a crime taking place on campus.
So there's 2 ways that happens. So emergency situation, let's say someone calls 911. You'll typically go to the Golden Gate Division CHP, which then gets forwarded to San Jose State, which is our primary dispatch where we get all our calls for service. And then from there it'll come to us. But let's just say there's a door unlock or something else going on where an instructor or student calls the main line, the Foothill line. It goes to Foothill, which they can also dispatch us. So we get 2 dispatchers, essentially, our main being San Jose State, and then our dispatch at Foothill.
After interviewing Chief Acosta, he made it clear that providing department transparency with students and members of the community is a high priority. He permitted this ride-along as a step toward this goal of transparency.